I hate to say I told you so, but Joyce has been stopped for the first time in his career. He's been banged out by Zhang, or so it would seem. Let's talk about this and get live reaction on Joyce versus Zhang here in BWTM Sports Game. Don't go anywhere. Why, Joyce? Why did you take this fight? There was no need for you to take this fight, bro. Absolutely none. Like, from the moment this fight was announced, I just got that bad feeling in my stomach. The same bad feeling I had when Lennox Lewis fought Oliver McCall. That fight was signed. I'm like, nah, this is not good. And my feelings were sadly proven right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. Glad you could join us. In the pre-fight, I hope you can hear me well. In the pre-fight to this Joyce versus Zhang, I had some real concerns because I didn't see any point of Joyce taking this fight. I didn't see where this fight was leading to. Zhang, southpaw, big puncher, 19 stone, Olympic silver medalist, just come off beating Herkovich. Like, why are you fighting this guy? There is no need whatsoever for you to fight this guy. And if you beat this guy, what? You're hiding to nothing. Oh, yeah, well, George, I was listening to this on Talk Sport. So I didn't watch it this time. I listened to it on Talk Sport. Give myself a different experience. And, Joyce, he's a juggernaut. He's got a great chin. I was expecting to wear down Zhang, and I'm thinking to myself, if Joyce has not worked on that defense, between him and Ishmael Salaf have not worked on that defense, and his defense is still as leaky as it was against Christian Hammer, there is no way you're going to be stopping them left hands. And I had people saying, oh, yeah, well, Joyce is going to come late and stop Zhang. I'm like, how are you stopping Zhang late? How do you work out stopping Zhang late without you getting hit with the left hand consistently? You're just going to walk forward, march, trying to walk down Zhang, who's going to hit you with that left hand. And what happened? He kept getting hit with left hand over and over and over again, and Joyce could not adjust. Joyce could not adjust. The whole juggernaut gimmick has gone. Nobody is invincible. You can't block with your head. Well, the thing is, I hope you can hear me clearly. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. You're missing an important point. Well, whatever that important point is, I'd like to finish what I'm saying, and then whatever that important point is, we can look into afterwards. For me, there are no excuses as to why this fight should have happened. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the way I look at it is this. There were so many other heavyweights that Joyce could have fought instead of Zhang. Joyce could have gone and fought, for example, he could have fought Dillian Whyte. That would have been a better fight because of Whyte's punch resistance. And yes, he has got that left hook there, Whyte, but I think that Joyce could have handled that a lot easier than and dealt with a Dillian Whyte fight as an interim fight. I really don't think that this fight with Zhang. Look, there's a lot of things. Yeah. For me, it seems like somebody's done Joyce dirty, because in the post-fight, Joyce says, "Yeah, I haven't fought many southpaws, then I haven't fought southpaws in a long time. You haven't fought southpaws in a long time, so then you're gonna fight the biggest punching, arguably biggest punching, most experienced southpaw there is in the division. For what? For what point? Now, I've always been critical of Ishmael Salas. And I've always been critical of Ishmael Salas because I don't know what he's teaching Joe Joyce, but he hasn't taught Joe Joyce to keep his head off the line. He's not taught Joe Joyce that you can't keep using your head to stop punches. And how long Joe Joyce and Ishmael Salas have been together, I don't know. But from round one, I said from round one, Zhang was zinging that left hand in, and Joyce had no response to it whatsoever, no reply to it, none whatsoever. I heard TalkSport saying, "Oh well, Joe Joyce." I think Spence Oliver said, "Oh, Joe Joyce lost a stone in weight, so he was lighter. That's why he lost the fight." No, he lost the fight because he kept getting hit with left hands. He said, "I know how to fight left hand. I know how to fight southpaws." If you listen to Joe Joyce's post-fight, this fight has all the. If I hadn't known better, I would have thought this was a matchroom special. This fight was a typical matchroom fight. The fight had no markings of Frank Warren on it whatsoever. As Frank Warren, for all the years I've known, unless Frank's going mad, of all the years I've known Frank Warren, or I've seen Frank Warren matchups, so close to a world title shot, you're deciding to stick him in against Zhang, against the southpaw, dangerous southpaw, not even for a world title fight. That wasn't even for a world title. Sounds okay. As you predicted, yeah, well, he looked absolutely clueless against the southpaw. There you go. The foot placement, everything. Well, what I think Joe was trying to do was just trying to put pressure on Zhang, try and outwork Zhang, hope Zhang would tire, and then come on the back end. But the thing is, the problem was Zhang was banging Joe with big shots, big left hands, and Joe wasn't responding. So that's what it is. So I don't know how you're going to get to round 9 if you don't get past round 8 and round 7 and round 6 and round 5, and you get hit with a left hand. What happens then? I mean, sometimes I think about boxing. I think to myself, wait, you can see clear and present danger right in front of your face, but you will ignore the clear and present danger to come up with some sort of fantasy ideas as to how he's going to go about this assignment. We knew his defense was leaky. The best I saw Joe Joyce box was against Daniel Dubois. Honestly, that's the best I saw him box. Use the jab well, double up the jab against, triple up the jab against Dubois. But I never rated Dubois. The difference between Dubois and Zhang is that Zhang was a proven Olympic medalist. Dubois bottled it. As Joe Joyce said himself, yes, the matchmakers and his advisors are horrible for setting up this fight. Of course they are. Of course they are. Now, here's a hint to you, yeah? Joshua was offered a fight to Zhang. He skipped it. Chisora was going to fight Zhang. He shifted out of the way of it. But Joe Joyce will fight anybody. For what? Joe, you look like you're 37, 38 years old. It's not like you're Lennox Lewis and you're getting knocked out. You're 31 years old, 32 years old, and you can come back. You're like 38 years old. You're 38 years old, and you're a problem in the heavyweight division. And if you think about how long they made Dillian White wait, if you're going to go down that route, Joe Joyce is far more dangerous than Dillian White was at that point in time. If you look at the styles and what the guys have done, Joe Joyce's resume, you can't knock it. He's probably got probably one of the best resumes in heavyweight boxing, period. Because if you look at what he's done for 15 fights and the caliber of guys he's fought for 50 fights, If you look at the guys like Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, even Lennox Lewis in his 15th fight fought Jean Chaney for the Euro. No, he fought Gary Mason for the European, the British title. Then, well, I think it's 14th, 15th fight. He fought Mason. 15th fight, I think he fought Gary Mason for the British title. He was already European champion. That's Olympic gold medalist and Lennox Lewis. So Joe Joyce, I think, has been mismanaged. I've been saying it for ages. And like, he just doesn't know, like, rematch. He sounded lost. He sounded lost in the interview, and he seemed just as lost in the interview, trying to find words to speak, as he was in the fight. I don't know what it is with Joe Joyce, but he just seems like he's just been hung out to dry. That's what it seemed to me. It's like, okay, how are we going to get this guy beat? All right, get a final southpaw. Yeah, he's not good against southpaws. He just looked like he's just got stitched up dirty. That's what he looked to me. Zhang is a scary man. He's not human. He was made in a laboratory. No one can beat a machine that looks human. Zhang has a larger head than Joyce. Zhang is not a human being. Now Zhang's a human being. He's a human being. Don't believe that. This is worse than when you brought in Harry Kane and still lost 6-0. He's laughing. And Sam Jones, who said that Zhang was Joyce was going to beat up on Zhang. Like, I normally agree with Sam Jones, but when he said that, I was like, Sam, I'm not so sure. That's why AJ Eddie didn't want to be anywhere near Big Bang. Exactly. Joe will never be the same. Nope, I don't think so. Thank you for the show. Joe overlooked Zhang, and he was able to justify the fight, which allowed himself to be hit clean. That's why he lost. Frank's got fury. He can gamble with Joyce. I'm surprised it was such a hard fight for not much reward. This is what I said. This is all the things I said before the fight. We've seen Joyce be fairly minor before, so not sure why he wasn't against a massive southpaw. Poor tactics and salads here. Big Bang versus Ruiz or Fury is a big fight. Yeah, sure it is. Fury will take the Zhang fight, I think. Evenings, Ingram in the chat. Zhang made it look like a sparring session. That's what it was, mate. We've seen Joyce be fairly mobile before with lateral movements, so I'm not sure why he wasn't against a massive southpaw like Zhang. Poor tactics from Salas here. Was it poor tactics from Salas, or Zhang was still in first gear? Would Joe beat Danny Dubois now? I don't think Danny Dubois is that great, to be honest. So I've never rated Danny Dubois. I'll tell you another guy I don't rate is that Moses. I think he's bang average. Would you fight Zhang for £1 million? No. And we don't want to see no rematch because Zhang will beat that style all day long, no head movement. Yeah. So that's it. Ingram, if it was an accident waiting to happen, no head movement at all. Only takes you so far, especially in heavyweights. But yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. You know, you can't keep fighting like that and keep walking through punches like that, and you know, and then you're doing it against a guy who's got Olympic pedigree. It's just dangerous. We just, you know, accident waiting to happen. I'm just surprised more people in boxing didn't see this coming. Just, you know, this is what happens. We just caught up in hype, or we just don't see the wood from the trees. Zhang was dangerous against Joyce. Tyson won't allow Zhang to do that stuff to him. I tell you a fight I wouldn't mind watching. Zhang versus Wilder. I'd watch that. I'd pay to watch that. I'd pay to watch Wilder versus Zhang for sure. Talking about chins, nobody mentioned what happens when the eye goes. Joe got Dub Ward. Yeah. And his eye, I wonder what's going to happen with the eye, how much damage has been done to the eye. Don't know, man. Don't know. But Joe was done silly. And Joe's going to find out afterwards. Like people are saying, it's easy for him to come back. It's not your career. It's not your career. You know what I mean? And who's going to want to fight Joe Joyce in a hurry? I don't think so. I really don't think so. The only thing Joyce has in common with the Terminator, he has one eye. LOL. Well, I was very concerned about this fight and the way Joyce was talking in the fight, and he's gonna do this and he's gonna do that and he's this and he's that. You talk about this fighter and that fighter. I'm thinking you've got Zhang to deal with, bro, and you've got issues with Zhang. Ingram, he got dubbed. Daniel Dubois. Oh boy. Maybe laugh we said it's payback for Daniel Dubois. Yeah, he did say that, didn't he? It's not good. It really isn't. There'll be an inquest, not a big one. People will just say, "Oh well, you know, this is what happens when you take tough fights. This is where you take big fights." Joe George should be applauded for that. Should he? No. Applauded for what? I thought boxing was about. That's why you got manager and matchmaking. You know, you pick the right fights, the right time to get you to win a world title fight, become a world champion. Joyce couldn't hurt Zhang either. The Zhang guy will be ducked, in my opinion. He's 39 years old, and they'll look at it as well. Joe Joyce doesn't move his head. All the things Joe Joyce does, he just doesn't move his head. Awful matchmaking. I was nervous for Joyce. Terrible matchup. Joyce needs a big payday and then retirement. Dillian Whyte, Joe Joyce, I call for. Dillian Whyte, as stated, he wants to fight Joe now. I told you, Joe Joyce, Dillian Whyte. Zhang, heavy-handed, as he says. After that, it will be avoided. I'll call it now. Eddie kept Zhang as far away from Joshua as humanly possible. Blessed is England. Well, you can see it happening. If you see Eddie Hearn pulling Joshua away from Zhang, I mean, remember that point they were talking about Joshua going to China to fight Zhang? Yeah, right. Imagine Joshua fighting Zhang tonight. That Joshua that fought Jermaine Franklin against Zhang. Oh boy. Oh boy. Because I want to see Zhang versus Wild. That would be very exciting. Zhang gave Joe the UKI. He did. It didn't better stay away from Big Bag Zhang. It's Chinese power, Ingram. He told you, and everyone in the damn chat tonight. Absolutely. Wild is a small heavyweight versus the giants in the division like Joyce, Zhang, and Fury. Well, you can only say so much. You can only warn people so much. And you can only, you know, I didn't get caught up in a hype. Didn't get caught up in all that talk beforehand. Zhang gave a bird's eye. Cod eye. Oh boy. So we'll see. All these people talk about, oh yeah, Joe Joyce can come back again. He can do this and that. I'd like to see how they're going to rebuild his career now at 37, 38 years old. It's not a death sentence, but at 37, 38 years old, you talk about rebuilding your career. You know, at that point in your career, you're looking at getting your world, you know, if you haven't got a world title fight, getting your world title fight and then making as much money as possible. That's what you're looking at doing. It's not like you're 31 or 30 or 28, or you can go and rebuild. You could take a chance. At 37, 38 years old, don't know. I still would like to know why David Hay left Joe Joyce and Sam Jones I know Sam Jones went on to other things, but I don't know. There just seems a bit of, I don't want to call it simpleton, but it seems like some really ABC 1, 2, 3 management with Joe Joyce, really, and guys, Dubois, Joe, the UKI, Ingram, unbelievable call from yourself. I won't call it unbelievable. It's just a straight left hand and Joyce being able to get out of the way, not being able to get away punches, and Uncle Bashir, he was put it on the Facebook page when setting the video and said, he don't like the fight either. He don't like the fight either. So, Ingram, what happens in Fury versus Zhang or Zhang versus Ruiz Jr.? I think Zhang versus Ruiz Jr. is a shootout. Just do what everyone is doing. Fight a YouTuber for 7 million and then retire, Joe. All this wild talk, like he's Brave Star, leave the man alone, LOL. Who's going to actually want to fight Zhang? He's Southpaw, giant, good chin, Chinese power. Not a big name either. That's what I'm talking about. let's keep it in mind. Joyce didn't get knocked out. He wasn't destroyed. And ING caused the stoppage. My friend, if the eye did not go, Joe would have gone because there was nothing in that fight. So Joe was getting beaten and beaten up by Zhang. Let's get something clear here. There was no Joe Joyce coming back and no, he was getting beaten up and he would have got beaten up more and stopped. And would you rather have got stopped? No, bro. He's thankful that he wasn't on the end of Zhang stopping him because that would be the end of Joe Joyce. A 39-year-old stopping you. Nah, thank his heavens that his eye got blown up. Ortiz would beat Joyce too. He ducked that southpaw for a reason. Zhang versus AJ. What happens? Joyce with that. Oh yeah. He goes. Oh, but Ingram, his bone density is 5 times the average man. Legs are shaky, Adam. Yes, exactly. Joyce would have got KO'd. Thank you very much. Mr. PK is right. They don't want a war with Chinese power. Neither do workers or UK. Chinese power, baby. That's what it is. So let's keep it real here, people. Zhang is in the nobody wants to fight him club. Even Derek Chisora, big Derek Chisora, who loves the fight, loves the war, loves the pounds. He went nowhere near Zhang. He went nowhere near Zhang. Josh went nowhere near Zhang. That would have been a sign to say, hey, you idiot, keep away from that guy. But no, I'm going to go and fight him. You see two guys coming running out of fire, outside of fire. Two guys are running out of fire. You want to be Superman and run into the fire. It's just dumbness. Inga, what happened to Bashir's heavyweight? Why haven't we seen it up and coming? Because that heavyweight is injured. I did it in my last interview with Bashir. Obviously, you didn't listen to the interview. We haven't heard the interview yet. Let's see. Imagine with Wilder's awful footwork and head movement, Zhang's skill and power, Wilder's power. That's really exciting fight. Pure entertainment. Someone's getting chin. Absolutely. I won't worry too much about Bashir. He's got more interesting things to more exciting things to talk about apart from the heavyweight. But that's what I'm going to Bashir to tell you guys about. Frank Warren's hold is falling apart. Daniel ACL against a mover like Usyk. Good luck there. Usyk will KO. Yeah, he will KO badly as well. Wilder would knock Zhang out, I think. I'll watch it later. Good idea. So, yeah, I don't want to go too much more into this because it is what it is. Well, it is what it is with regards to Zhang and Joyce. You cannot at top level keep fighting with chin in the air. Ishmael Salas needs to be sacked. For all them years, he has not taught Joe Joyce how to block a punch. Here we are in 2023, and that's what it is. So, poor matchmaking, just a terrible night. And I'd like to know. I probably could see a Dillian White fight with Dillian White versus Joe Joyce, but does that prove anything? Not really. This makes me want to see Herkish again. Mr. PK, what is the secret of Zhang's power? Is it the Chinese food he eats? I had Chinese food for lunch and it made me feel good. I eat Chinese food. When I finish eating Chinese food, after about half an hour, I feel hungry again. Where does he go from this, Ingram, honestly? I don't know. He fights Dillian White. Hopefully he doesn't have a broken orbital. Let's hope not. You can see the Dillian White fight. Ingram, that Moses heavyweight is not good. He's not good at all. He's sorry. He's not very good. I would say he's trash. He's not very good. I'm sorry. I don't know what all the hype is all about. And I don't want to call the young boy trash because that's wrong. But not when you're talking about breaking Mike Tyson's record. I mean, imagine that guy even in a couple of years fighting Tyson Fury or or Gerald Anderson. I mean, let's just leave things as they are, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't hear Salas give any advice. I just heard the assistant giving all the advice. No, Salas said something along the lines of, "Oh, you have to move," something like that. Tried to get, tried, tried to get him to beat Mike Tyson's record. I don't know. Maybe trying to beat Mike Tyson's record on Punch Out. I don't know. They said he hit like Mike Tyson. Which Mike Tyson? You all right, Ingram? Thank you very much, Brooks. Ituma was fighting a dead body. Oh, there you go. He doesn't hit 3% as hard as Mike. What's your top five? What's your top five? He's Ingram. He's not in my top five. No chance. Joyce was saying yeah for the cameras. Just saying yeah for the cameras. Just seems lost. You know, I think, to be honest, whatever in in the background they've kept quiet about Joe Joyce is all going to come out now. I believe it's all going to come out. There's something just not. There's just something always not been right about his management. There's always not been. It's always something that always seemed to me always seemed kamikaze about his career. And they kept inching and pushing and pushing him and pushing him into fights that were more and more dangerous every single fight. And I kind of felt then that Christian Hammer fight was the fight. I do say to you guys that before a guy gets beat, there's usually a blueprint before the guy gets beat. Like before a guy gets beat, there's always a like before Price got beat by Tony Thompson. No, it wasn't that. I'll come back to my point. But there's always a blueprint. There's always an incident. There's always red flags before a guy gets beat. If you don't pay attention to those red flags, the red flag for me for Joe Joyce is when he fought Christian Hammer. That was a red flag for me there. I said if Zhang hits Joyce the same way that Hammer was hitting with, we're in trouble. Top 5 heavyweights. I'll do a video on it. Joyce has to take another big risky fight. Age isn't on his side. That's what I'm saying to you. Hey, bro. Hey, Barry. Hope you're doing well. What's up with the piss poor management of these UK heavyweights, England? Everyone's trying to make a quick buck, aren't they? Joe said he was going to study Zhang on Thursday. Jesus Christ. Chat should get Zhanged. Joyce got zinger burgered by Zhang KFC style. Thank God it wasn't Wilder. Yeah, and there are people saying that they wanted to see Wilder versus Joyce. I said, no, I never want to see that fight. That is just dangerous. Joe would get knocked out by Wilder. Speed, power, athleticism. No, you don't want that. These promoters are all for matchmaking, these heavyweights. Zhang versus Anderson, good fight, bro. Yeah, but Anderson's not going to stand there and get hit the way that Zhang's a good fighter, man. Dylan White, good fight for Joyce, yes. Why? Because of White's durability. White's durability. In fact, he's been knocked out by Fury. He's been knocked out by Povetkin. He's been knocked out by Joshua. So, yeah, he's been knocked out a few times. So he's there. And he's been dropped by Parker. And he's been dropped by the cruiserweight Oscar Rivas. So yeah, I would take that fight. I would have taken the White fight instead of taking the Zhang fight. And tonight, Joe Joyce would still have been unbeaten, ready for a world title fight. That's what I would have done. But then, hey, it's not hindsight. It's just bad matchmaking. So all those people are rocking with, according to the British George Foreman. Yeah, but I think maybe, I don't know. Is this Joe Joyce's Jimmy Young moment? I don't know. But he's got some questions to answer now, Joe Joyce. And I don't know if he's got the management to get him the right fights now. Because if you're picking that fight for Zhang, and you pick the Zhang fight, God only knows that. You said that he could beat Usyk Kingdom. Yeah, but you're looking at two totally different guys here. You look at two totally different styles here. Zhang is like 6 foot, 6 foot, 6 foot 6, 6 foot 7, and the size of the man. He's a big dude, southpaw, left hand, big punching. You know, Usyk's small. He's not going to hit him with that same sort of power. He's not going to keep Joe off the same way because he hasn't got that same explosive sort of power. He's not going to keep Joe off, and Joe's going to keep coming and coming and coming. See, that style. See, Joe keep coming and coming and coming and coming against someone like Usyk. That's different. But with Zhang, he's got that one punch, nasty power is different. That sort of power can stop you in your tracks and make you have to reset and think about your life. Usyk doesn't punch like that. Usyk doesn't punch like that. And everyone's talking about how Joshua needs to get on top of Usyk. You're talking about the Joe Joyce style right there. So with that fight, Joe Joyce has a better chance against Usyk than he does against Zhang later on in the fight. I really do still think so. Frank just lost all leverage on Usyk. Joyce lost. Dubois fight not happening. Fury ducking Usyk. Poor matchmaking from Queensbury. Nobody wanted to fight Zhang after that performance. Better to avoid. But when he gets mandatory, he cannot be stopped. Picking the southpaw power. Joe is awful. Why did Joyce take a stone off on White, but then fight in that style? God only knows. Who on earth advised Joyce to lose weight from a 16-cylinder juggernaut to a 4-cylinder Trans-Fan? I thought he'd be lighter so he could move more. No, move more into the left hand, faster. Itamu has no defense, and neither has Joe. Wilder would fold Joyce. Listen. If Matchroom, or not in Matchroom, Frank, if you need a matchmaker, come and have a word with me. Come talk to me. Come talk to me. Honestly, Frank. You know, we go back years. I'm more than happy to even be a special advisor, Frank, in these situations. I've avoided it. I said, look, let's keep well away from this fight. Let's keep away from this fight. And how dangerous, it's a dangerous fight. It's a no-win situation here, Frank. Did you see what fight? What fight? Are you calling that a fight? Or are you calling it a sparring session? He would have had harder sparring sessions, mate. You know, he sort of looked like, he looks a bit like AJ Carter. Do you remember AJ Carter? He used to be on this channel. We used to talk about AJ Carter and how AJ Carter looks a bit like Mike Tyson. They're doing the same AJ Carter thing with Tama, whatever Tama is. Do you know Frank? I don't know him, but I know him. Frank knows me. Frank saw me in the street and say, "Hey, Ingram, how you doing?" Yeah, Frank knows me that much. So yeah, Frank, we go back years, mate. So if you need a special advisor, mate, especially with these heavyweights, I can help. I'll bring Uncle Bashir with me as well, and we can certainly get your heavyweights matched up the right way. Joyce is slow and robotic. His face gave up just like Dubois did. Look, Joyce is slow and robotic, yes, but you can put him in certain matches. That's why you've got matchmakers, and that's why Dean Powell was a good matchmaker, very good matchmaker. It's about matchmakers as about making your fighter look good, not exposing your fighter for his limitations. Dubois nearly killed AJ Carter. Oh, yeah. Right. Let me get out of here. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been BWTM Sports Gaming. It's time for me to get out of here. Thanks for watching as always. We appreciate you.